Hi, gang. Welcome back to day 9 of the Costco Wine Adventure Advent Calendar. Today, we are going back to Italy. Specifically, we're going to Abruzzo. Now, the Abruzzo region lies between the Apennine Mountains and the Adriatic Sea. When we look at the map of Italy, it's going to be on the back side of the knee. So you see the whole boot coming down. There's like the knee over here, back side of the knee. This area is going to be low plains, low hills, coastal areas where the grapes are grown. The mountainous region there is a little too rugged to support grape growth, so they tend to keep them in the hills, the plains, and the coastal areas. The climate in this region is Mediterranean, so hot and dry. The area also boasts an average of 2,200 plus hours of sunlight a year, so perfect especially for red wine grape growing. Now, let's talk about what we're trying today, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. So today we are having Azimato. Now, this is a Montepulciano di Abruzzo. Cute little birdie with a hat. Remember that if you're tasting along with us, scan your QR code so it takes you to the webpage. I will drop the website in the description for you guys so you can follow along if you don't have the Costco Wine Advent Calendar, but you can watch a little YouTube video, read the descriptions. It's very cute. All right. So, Montepulciano di Abruzzo. It's a whole mouthful, right? When a wine has that title, number one, it's made of Montepulciano, which is a native grape from Abruzzo. But it also means that it was grown in one of the 5 subregions of the Abruzzo region. Now, please don't judge me for my Italian. I'm probably going to butcher these, but I will do my best for you. The 5 subzones of the Abruzzo region are Alta Trento, Cassia, Tete, Terra di Pelenghi, and Terra di Vestini. Okay. So the grapes are grown all over this region, the Montepulciano, and it's a very popular grape. It's actually the second popular. The first popular grape in the Italian region is the Sangiovese. Now, typical Montepulciano. They have powerful fruits and sweet spice flavors. Notes of sour cherry, boysenberry, and plum, and lots of flavors of herbs like oregano and tobacco flavors. They're typically dry, medium-bodied, high acidity, and high tannin style wines. So, I've already started drinking. Let's take a look. Okay, I'm gonna move this guy over just a little bit. There we go. So, you can see a nice, beautiful ruby red color, which is pretty typical of the Montepulciano. So let's go ahead and get a whiff of that bouquet. So I get lots of boysenberry on the nose. And if you don't know what a boysenberry is, it's basically like a cross of a blackberry and a blueberry. So you get a lot of those jammy blackberry and blueberry flavors on the bouquet of this wine. You can also get some of those spicy flavors like tobacco. It's very noticeable on this bouquet. So let's go ahead and take a sip. Remember to swish. Let it hit all of your palate. The acidity in the wine really gives you that mouth-watering feel right there underneath the tongue. You're just salivating. This is very dry right off the bat. But where it's dry is like right inside the bottom of your teeth on the bottom, but on the inside. A very noticeable strip of dryness. Also, you get a lot of dryness on the teeth. It's not like up in the cheeks like we had tried the other wine. This is all teeth. The tannins and the acidity really grab onto your palate here. So you get that dry sensation, like I said, on the teeth. It does hit the tongue as well, but you get a lot more of those jammy berry flavors. So let's try again. Sorry guys, it's my drain going off again. Okay, so once again, lots of jammy berry flavors on the palate, some tobacco. You're gonna pick up a lot of herby taste. And some of the sites say like oregano. I don't really get oregano, but I do get the tobacco. This may be different for you. Drinking wine is all a single perspective. It's from your perspective. Just because I taste something doesn't mean that you're going to taste it. And just because you taste something doesn't mean that I am. And also, I may like a wine and you may not. It's all very subjective, which means it's up to you. And you decide, is this a good wine or is this not a good wine? So don't let anybody tell you like, oh, you're uncultured swine because you don't like what I like. No, wine is subjective. It's totally up to you. And it's your experience. Make it your own experience. Now, also in my experience, I think this is a younger wine. The year on this wine, or the vintage, is a 2019. Through my research that I've been doing, they say typically Montepulcianos need to lay down for about 3 years. So 2019, 2020, 21. Depending on when it was harvested, I don't think it's 3 years old. I think it's a very young wine, and I think it needs to lay down for at least a year to 3 more years, and it will become a really great red wine. Not to say that this is not a good red wine, it is. But for my palate, it's a little young, and I'd like to see it age a little bit more. Now let's talk about food with this wine, with the Montepulciano di Abruzzo. So much fun to say. This is not your salad or seafood wine. Do not do it. It's too acidic for it. It's going to ruin the meal for you. This is going to be your savory meal wine. And what I mean by that, your barbecue wine, your burger wine, your hearty stew wine, your baked vegetables, baked potato type wine, tomato-based pastas, so ragu, bolognese, anything like that it would go great with. And this is also pizza wine. This is going to go great with tomato sauces. Now, we've also been talking about cheeses to pair with our wines. This one is going to be aged cheddar. It's going to have a lot more of those robust flavors. You definitely want to do that. You could pair this with a young cheddar, but this might wash out that flavor. So definitely go with the aged cheddar. Asiago and Parmesan. Both very distinct cheeses that are going to go very, very well with this. And a little bit more powerful taste. They have a lot more structure to them, so you definitely want to go with them. This wine, it's hard for me to let it take me somewhere because I don't necessarily enjoy drinking this wine. I don't want to tell you guys this is a bad wine or a poor quality wine because it's not. It's just not to my palate. If I were to close my eyes and think about this wine, I would think of a rock boulder, seeing lots of rock around. Let's see where else we go. Remember, close your eyes, take a sip, see where it takes you. I see like a little bit of fir or pine trees, lots of rock, a little bit of water. But for me, this wine is kind of boring. So it doesn't really ignite my creativity like the other ones do. But I would love to hear if you got a different experience than I did, which you will because, like we just talked about, it's subjective. So if you're watching this and you've tried this wine, please let me know what your thoughts are. Go out. A lot of Italian restaurants have Montepulciano wines. Definitely you want to look for, on the label, the Montepulciano di Abruzzo. Those are the highest quality Montepulcianos. One other thing that you want to look out for is Montepulciano is a town in Tuscany. And there's another type of wine. It's called like Vino something something Montepulciano. You want to make sure that you don't get these two mixed up. Because the Montepulciano di Abruzzo is made of the Montepulciano. It could have up to 20% Sangiovese, I believe is the limit. But the Montepulciano wine from Tuscany is made of primarily Sangiovese. So it's two very different wines. But definitely go to a local restaurant, see if you can get a glass, or go to your local grocery store. I don't know if your typical like Safeway would have them, but if you have like a Wegmans, a Harris Teeter, a Total Wine, you'll definitely find one of those there. And the people in the wine shop should be able to help you find something. You do want to make sure, like I said though, Montepulciano di Abruzzo. Look for one of those, highest quality right there. So, let's go ahead and pop out day 9. We've made it this far. So I want to say thank you again to everybody who has stuck around so far. It's day 9. All right. Come on, get out of there. There we go. Today we got a cute little owl. Look at that. All right, gang. Thank you so much for joining me in Italy today for the Montepulciano di Abruzzo. Had to get it in one more time. Cheers and ciao.